Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 24 of the Pack Mentality Podcast, your number one source for Zombies Discourse. I am Shorb Z, joined always alongside the young and talented AQ Debbie. And today we have a very fun episode for you guys. It's sort of a follow up from Warman's Dead Drop from last week. So he asked us which boss fight in Zombies, like which boss basically would end up winning if every boss fight in Zombies history fought against each other. So we didn't want to make that like just one short answer. We thought it would be a good video idea to do sort of a bracket style where we go through each boss fight and have them sort of go against each other and just kind of figure out, I guess, along the way which one we think would come out on top. So it is a collaborative effort. We're gonna sort of talk about everything, see which ones we agree on, and like we're gonna be landing on the same spot. It's not like he's doing one and I'm doing the other. So it is a team effort here. So yeah, I think without further ado, we're gonna kick it off here. Mr. Debbie, do you have anything to say before we get into this bracket?
Yeah, I haven't really. This is all completely random. The matchups, how they'll go. So I have a problem with brackets, anyways. How they're sort of functioned. Like a lot of things don't really matter until you get to the very end. So don't take this too seriously. We might butt heads at certain points, but ultimately one of us will give some push and pull, and we'll come to a conclusive Pack Mentality Podcast official answer on this. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I don't know what the matchups are. So yeah, without further ado, it looks like first one is Cortifex from the Archon versus the Aether Worm from MWZ. I guess Aether Worm in this case is either of them, either from the story or just like the Red Worm fight. Shorb-Z, have you done either of these?
It's crazy that these two got paired together because these are like two of the few boss fights that I have not done in Zombies.
Yeah.
I will say both of them, from what I've seen, they both look like actual pretty solid boss fights, despite being in games that I don't care much for. So I'm appealing to authority with this one. I think I'm just gonna, again, visually they both look insane. I couldn't even give you a lean as to which one I would personally be picking. So the floor is yours, Debbie. You're gonna have to take it away with this one.
No, fair. And I'm definitely gonna have to defer to you on some of these, like the IW ones and whatnot. So we'll get there. They're both very like large in scale and sort of cinematic. I think ultimately I personally would land on the Aether Worm, especially if you're looking at like the Red Worm, because it's a cooperative boss fight that usually takes a good group of people to actually fully take down, and you know you're having to do all these things to set up beforehand. I think the Aether Worm, especially the Red Worm, is ultimately a more fulfilling boss fight experience in my opinion, and it works very well for MWZ. I'm not sure how it's going to slot against some of these other more contemporary Treyarch and so on boss fights, but yeah, Aether Worm is going to beat out Cortifex to me.
Okay. Again, just appealing to authority here. Obviously, I did end up moving it on, so it'll be playing against Oz next, but fair play. I am looking forward to going back and sort of revisiting these in the next couple years, but I'm just trusting that you made the right pick there. If you guys disagree, obviously let us know in the comments, but cool. Anything else you want to say before we move on to the next round one matchup?
No, we'll keep going, man.
Sweet. All right, we have the Lockdown Exfil on D Machine versus Sam in the Reckoning. So we talked a little.
I have to remember, this is the bosses fighting each other.
Correct. Yeah, it's not just
Shit.
Oh, do you want me to reverse this? Is there a way to reverse this?
I totally forgot. That was closer to Warman's question. Oh, man. Well, in that case, hold on.
Okay. How do I undo this? I guess I'll fix it if I need to, but go on, Debbie. I want you to let me know which one you think is
I mean, Cortifex, you can lean on this a little more because Cortifex is freaking huge, man.
Just like their builds? Is that I mean, Cordyceps is big in the boss fight, but like the worm also seems like it's pretty big as well, you know?
The worm's pretty big, but I can still, I think, picture Cordyceps grabbing the worm like this. Like, he's huge in the Archon boss fight specifically.
Okay. I'm trying to remember, like, I guess how big in scale they are just based off of like the clips I've seen.
Yeah.
I know that they're both like bigger boss fights and like grand in scale and stuff like that. I don't really know their attacks or anything, so like my input is I just know that they're big, and
Yeah.
I'm still just gonna lean on you here to make a decision. Are you saying Cordyceps? I think you said it sounds
I
like you're gonna
think
go with
so.
Cordyceps. Okay.
Damn, this is already a shit show. Welcome to
It's-
the Pack Mentality Podcast, everyone.
Appreciate you
No,
guys.
yeah, I like the worms have like these sort of like beam attacks
Okay.
that they shoot out, but Cordyceps is massive, man.
Okay.
Like, I feel like you'd need a lot of power to take out something like that, or just like World War II guns, apparently. But
If I remember, Cordyceps is like, is he like Drabakar-esque in like size?
he's up there. Yeah,
Okay.
I would say, yeah, pretty close.
Okay. Okay, sweet. Yeah, Cordyceps will win round one. Change of events. We're already getting some drama from the first matchup. It's March Madness all over again. Um, sweet. So, anything else you want to say before we move on to the next matchup?
No, let's keep going.
Okay. So we did talk before, basically, of like if it's a situation where it's like not really a boss, which unfortunately D Machine's boss fight is not really a boss.
Yeah.
Are we just figuring out if like we think the other boss would be able to like get through that situation?
I think that's as much as we can do. I probably shouldn't have included some of these
It's more fun. Who cares?
for the bracket, but I think I think it's more fun. It'll add a little more questioning in here. So in that case, would Sam
I
from
think
Reckoning,
Sam would easily get through the D Machine. Like
well,
us,
the lockdown is unlosable,
losable.
and the exfil, she can just fly.
I'm picking Sam. um,
That's a no-brainer.
yeah, it's gosh, I'm an idiot. Winner. There we go. Yeah, it's Sam. Obviously, the lockdown in Xville is a cakewalk. And to your point, she could just like float up in the room and like laser all the zombies, and then just she doesn't even need the Xville.
Oh yeah, she just flies away.
So easy one there. Sam from Reckoning. Surprisingly won a matchup because she's not very strong in her own right, but she is able to conquer a lockdown in Xville. So
Huge.
good for Sam, moving up in the world. Now we have Richtofen Reckoning. So a couple Reckoning boss fights here. And can Richtofen get through the Togder Toten escort at the end of Tog's Easter egg? I'm gonna go with
he
yes.
Can fly. Yeah.
he can fly. He has the waft that apparently is like insta kill in a gun. So Richtofen is going to be the winner for that one.
Easy one. They'll get harder once we get past all these like.
Yeah. So. Yeah, there's really not much to say about Richtofen. He has a jetpack. He has a probably infinite ammo waft somehow because why not? And then he's just going against rounds of zombies, not even any like elites or anything. So I think it's safe to say that Richtofen is moving on here.
If Victus can do it, Richtofen with a jetpack and an infinite ammo waft
should be.
I think
fine.
he's got it.
But is it the sharpshooter waft though? That's the question. Does it have a goofy little scope on it where you can? Doesn't matter. All right. So Orda from Outbreak versus Patient 13. I actually think this one is fascinating.
This is a good one.
So again, I've seen Orda in clips. I couldn't be bothered to actually get to Orda from my experience playing Outbreak. I'm very familiar with Patient 13 though. So yeah, just I guess you've done both, Debbie. I want to hear your thoughts first before I weigh in.
So the scale and the environment are the two like things. Like we don't know how big Patient 13 like ultimately is. A lot of his body is like submerged in water.
Good point.
But with that said as well, like he could be much larger than Orda, but can Patient 13 exist outside of the water, and could the Orda use it to its advantage?
That's it. Does Orda have a ranged attack or no?
He will shoot you with hellhounds.
Okay.
Like shoot them out of his like butthole mouth. Doesn't do too much, and Patient 13 is a water-based enemy.
Yeah. It's hard putting one or the other like in the other boss's like territory.
Yeah.
I guess the reason, so like if Orda didn't have a ranged attack, I would say Patient 13, because Patient 13 does have a ranged attack. So even if it's like those two in their own environments, Patient 13 could like basically like tick damage Orda. But
Yeah.
dude, I don't know. That's tough.
Assuming this is like a shout out all my Pokemon fans, assuming this is like a Groudon versus Kyogre type situation, and they're able to be in their environments. So like assuming Orda is like on the coast fighting Patient 13, and that Orda's attack is fire based, it's probably not going to do a lot to Patient 13, and it's also not an extremely powerful range attack, whereas Patient 13 has that insane electric based wipe attack.
True, that is true.
I'm personally going to go with Patient 13 here.
I think I agree with you, again, with my limited knowledge of Orda. I just think Patient 13 would come out on top, especially again if it takes place in water. It's no doubt Patient 13. I just don't even think like Patient 13, like Orda could make it into water. Patient 13, I don't think would be able to make it on land, like physically. So I think Orda would have to go to Patient 13's environment if we're
Yes,
like, forcing their hand. I think like to make this happen, I think Orda would have to go to the water. But even without that, I think you're right. Just the fact that it's sort of fire versus water, I think Patient 13 would come out on top anyway. And
yeah,
with that
I think
attack.
if they're fighting, I think Patient 13 takes it, or Orda can like pussy out and run away, but that's not a win.
Right, that doesn't count. Okay. Good for Patient 13. Brutus versus Dravacar. Peculiar. It's Dravacar, obviously. Brutus, he is definitely a boss in Zombies. Again, big dude, big compared to us. I'll say Dravacar would like squish him in his hand. Yeah. Brutus is just a bigger version of the Brutus that we know on Blood and Mob, and he doesn't really have anything too crazy. He has like the slam thing with his baton.
Yeah.
Besides that, nothing. And then Dravacar's obviously like a giant he can shoot the whatever those things are at you. I guess rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
The runes. So yeah, no brainer. It's Dravacar. Anything you want to mention before we move on?
No, I totally agree. I just wanted to say, like, obviously, like, in terms of, I know it just says Brutus, but I'm figuring in like the Hellhounds and all that stuff too. But even then, like, come on, those Hellhounds aren't doing much to Dravacar.
Yeah. So pretty easy with Dravacar there. Valentina versus the Guardian.
Ooh.
That's a tough one. Let's see. The Guardian's pretty, like, there's a lot of like, I guess, like atmosphere to the Guardian boss fight, but I guess I wonder how much, like, is he actually powerful? Like, I don't know. He can like run pretty quick and like he'll do the slam and everything, but yeah, besides that, I don't think the Guardian's like too threatening. Whereas, like, I don't know. I guess I don't find Valentina that threatening either. What are your thoughts, Mr. Debbie?
The thing that instantly pops in my head is with Valentina that, like, that like homing shot thing where you need to get cover like ASAP, like that is a powerful ranged attack.
Okay.
And
Also, Valentina can like fly and stuff. Yeah.
how does she? We know that she's like very mobile because she's like sort of following us back towards spawn.
Yeah.
And I think she would be able to maybe use that to her advantage to like dodge the Guardian's like slam attacks and all that.
Yeah. Like especially if she can fly, and I don't think he has a ranged attack, right? His range attack is like the jump slam thing.
Yeah, or like yeah. I think that's all he's got. I think ultimately to me Valentina is like agility plus her like much more powerful ranged attack gives her the edge here.
I agree. I think that's very reasonable. We have to factor in all of their abilities and such. So Valentina moves on to the next round. Now we have the Dead of the Night Werewolf versus the Dark Heart from Paradox Junction.
Interesting.
Actually. So I'm thinking my instinct is the Dark Heart, because the Dark Heart's just kind of like floating in the air. And if the werewolf can't get to it, then the Dark Heart would just win by like using those like fire bombs and stuff.
Yeah.
But can the werewolf? Like, I mean, the werewolf can jump around quite a bit. Can it jump that high though?
Ooh. Does the werewolf have a ranged attack?
No. No, the werewolf basically, the Dead of the Night boss fight is like you trap it basically.
Yeah.
In these zones, and then you just kind of laser it. It doesn't have like a ranged attack. Sort of its like thing to be like worried about is like that it can become invisible, which I feel like would be more of like a headache for the Dark Heart as opposed to like threatening to defeat it.
Yeah. At first I was thinking werewolf goes invisible and that's like its Aether Shroud to sort of get through all those beginning like trials before you're attacking the Dark Heart. But yeah, ultimately, if the werewolf doesn't have a range attack to actually put damage onto the Dark Heart, I don't know. Yeah, I think you had a good line of logic there. I think
It's gotta be
the Dark Heart, it just wins the war of attrition, essentially.
Yeah, I think it would just like chip away at it over time, and the werewolf just wouldn't know what to do, basically.
Right.
Okay, so now we are moving on to.
Oh, you skipped it. Oh, okay, okay.
Which one? Oh, sorry. Like, yeah, this one,
good. Yeah, another one that you don't have experience with.
Yeah, so the Echo, I have done the Shinonuma Reborn egg a few times. I've battled the Echo, but not enough to like it's been so long that I couldn't even tell you. Again, I'm gonna lean on you, Mr. Devi. I feel uninformed in this, so I'm just gonna trust you.
I mean, to be fair, I personally have not done the entity fight myself, but I think this is leaning on another like just a scale thing, and my mind instantly goes to the entity.
Okay. So yeah, size matchup. From what I've seen of the entity, I think that's a fair assessment. The Echo, yeah, it's not anything crazy, so sweet. So yeah, the entity moves on. Good for the entity. Orda from Firebase Z, so different Orda. Or the same Orda? Is it the same Orda? I don't know.
So I guess different, yes, but like this one is notably immobile. It just stays in one spot the entire time.
Yeah, that's slouch. Versus Z-Rex, which is notably mobile.
Extremely. Yes.
I think it's Z-Rex, right? I don't think Orda has any. Yeah.
Gotta be. Just Orda can't like move, and the Z-Rex is just gonna outpace it.
Yeah. Yeah, Orda, it's one of the easiest boss fights ever. Just takes, the Z-Rex would annihilate it for sure. Avogadro from Alpha Omega Goat mentioned, versus Vaetherion from Ashes of the Damned. This is a bad draw for Avogadro, I can't lie.
It's an interesting one, though. It depends what you consider a win condition.
True, because like Avogadro, we don't ever kill him. We just trap him in the MPD.
Yes. And I mean, we're shooting electricity at Vaetherion with the turret. That is like a main way to damage, and Avogadro clearly has that in spades. Yeah, it's tough. Are we considering the way to beat Avogadro to force it back into the APD?
I think so. Okay, I think we have to, because if not, then Avogadro's just has a free run throughout the entire bracket. Because you can't kill him. So it has to be, can Vaetherion get is Vaetherion gonna like Beyblade Avogadro all the way into the MPD, or is Avogadro gonna get him enough times with the electric? Like, oh, dude, yeah, you mentioning the electricity part of it, like that's Avogadro's, that's his thing. Oh, dude, that's tough. At first I thought it was Vaetherion very easily, but I think,
Yeah.
dang it. Let's see.
I think just because of Vaetherion's size, I don't know if he's able to nudge him in. I mean, obviously the Vaetherion's attacks have a good deal of like knockback, but can it unless it's just like destroying like the upper level and into the bunker, and I don't know, man. I'm looking at Avogadro here.
This feels like an upset.
Yeah, right.
Oh, dang it. Yeah, I think. I'm trying to think. Is there any? Because like Vaetherion's Beyblade thing is pretty like random in nature, and to get Avogadro into the MPD, you have to be like precise with, like it has to be like ordered basically to like. I feel like Vaetherion would like hit him around, but not. Like I would be more likely to bet on Avogadro hitting Vaetherion with electricity enough.
Yeah.
Than betting on Vaetherion to like chain together enough Beyblade moves to knock Avogadro into the MPD.
Yeah, not to mention Avogadro is super agile, like can just teleport pretty much willy-nilly.
Yeah.
I
think we're going Avogadro.
To the upset of many, I'm sure. I think Avogadro takes this round.
That's crazy, because like when I was thinking about this, I was like, Vaetherion might like win the whole darn thing, but early upset, man. 16 seed beating a 1 seed. If anybody watches March Madness, sweet. Okay, the Forsaken from Forsaken versus can the Forsaken last the lockdown of Liberty Falls? I don't know, man. Those HVT manglers. Whew.
Hey, Forsaken's a pretty big pushover, to be honest.
True, that is true.
But I think if some random sort of just milsim slop guys can handle the lockdown,
yeah,
Forsaken can probably handle it. That's just me, but
yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Yeah, the Liberty Falls lockdown is nothing. It's basically just Forsaken would last that, I think, relatively easily.
Yeah.
Cool. Very interesting one. Wrath and Fury from 9 versus Nixara from the GOAT Kawakajo. Let's see. Nixara can fly. I think that's a big... That might actually be like the deciding factor, is that Nixara can fly and do those like... I mean, even in general, like Wrath and Fury are like they're very like grandiose and like presentation and stuff, but they're pretty easy to beat. Not to say, I mean, Nixara is relatively easy to beat as well, but I think the flying is a big advantage to have.
Yeah, Wrath and Fury obviously have those like spear riders, so they do have a ranged attack, but they don't have their bread and butter like ram, because Nyxara can just kind of get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I think it's
and
gotta be Nyxara.
if Nyxara is just launching fireballs at him, sorry guys.
Yeah, we love Wrath and Fury, but just don't think they hold up well against Nyxara. It seems like flying is a recurring, like, heavy advantage to have in these picks here.
Flight and scale, yeah.
Cool. Legion from Outbreak versus the Sentinel Artifact from the Tomb. The Sentinel Artifact was another thing that I was thinking of while we were like, before we even pulled up the bracket. I was like, is the Sentinel Artifact like, would it be like OP compared to the other bosses, or is it like bad? You know, like, I feel like
why do you say that? I need to hear the logic.
For like, okay, so you know, it's an artifact. Obviously, it's not like this. It's not a giant dragon like Nyxara, but the lasers are pretty crazy, like very crazy. It'll spawn in those like HVT zombies with like the artifact in them. Not that those are like too noteworthy, but it's a pretty small target to hit, and it can, I guess it technically levitates up and down. I don't know if that's like the extent of its range, or if it could like levitate, like ascend infinitely up and like hit a Nyxara who's like has the ability to fly. Obviously we are talking about Legion instead.
Which is a notably flying boss as well.
Would it...
And a very powerful one at that. Lots of health, does lots of damage.
So it seems like Legion it would tank the Sentinel Artifact. It's just like, yeah, I think that is like what we have to end up picking. Unless you have strong feelings about the Sentinel Artifact.
I don't think so, sadly. I mean, because like the the HVT enemies that Sentinel Artifact spawns, like it can do doppelgast, yeah?
Doppelgast, amalgams. I think it goes zombie, doppelgast, mimic, amalgam. I think that's like the sequence.
Yeah, and the only like ranged aspect there is like the doppelgast needles, right? And
well,
those aren't like one hit.
Isn't it the only reason? Like, are the lasers bound by the arena, or would they infinitely shoot outward if the arena wasn't blocking them? I think they would infinitely shoot outward.
Yes.
And those lasers are no joke. But yeah, the question is, does it... I feel like it only ascends so high because that's where we are, whereas if we were like another story above, it would be able to ascend another story above.
Yeah, I'm wondering if just because we're having to like
give it
like ask so many questions about the Sentinel Artifact to kind of put its power up to make it able to hang with Legion. I don't know. Just
go with Legion.
I'm kind of against it.
I think that's like good point, and we are gonna like stick with Legion, but those are legit questions. Like, if those are like, if it can ascend as high as it wants, which if I had to guess, I would say it could, and if those beams go out infinitely, like, those are pretty like OP attacks. But again, we're sort of like adding more to it than we ought to, so I think it's fine. We're just gonna take Legion. That's fine.
Yeah, if we would see it do something like that, it might be a different case.
Discussion. Yeah, and like, again, even if that is like, even if it can do those things, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's better than Legion. So fine, just putting Legion ahead. All right, moving on. We have Pegasus and Perseus from Ancient Evil versus Caltheris from Astra Malorum. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of deferring to you on the Pegasus and Perseus fight.
Let me think. So like, Pegasus, you kind of just shoot out of the sky. Like, Pegasus doesn't do a whole lot on its own. And then Perseus like doesn't really do much on his own either. I feel like it's very like grand in scale, but I just don't think that they. I think it's Caltheris. Caltheris, especially if she like gets you in a corner or something, like absolutely annihilates you.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna say there's no corners on the Ancient Evil. It depends where they're
true.
fighting, huh? Is there
Yeah, yeah.
corners?
I mean, even then, yeah, like Pegasus and Perseus just don't do a whole lot. You're basically just like catching Pegasus while it's like flying at different areas of the map, and then you just take it down. Perseus gets angry at Pegasus, and then Aura farms, and then Perseus, like basically Perseus is just like occasionally like throwing stuff at you.
Yeah.
But like again, Caltheris also throws stuff at you, and it's actually much more like critical that she throws. And she has like 4 forms, so I think we're gonna go with Caltheris.
So you don't think Pegasus gets any advantage from flight, really, or do you think Caltheris launching those like electric boulders? Do you think that would be enough to stop Pegasus at least?
Yeah, I think Caltheris would do enough with like the throwing the boulders and stuff. Especially
Okay.
if we're counting Caltheris's first version, like the laser thing. Like that would also. Yeah, I think Caltheris just has too much going for her. And again, Pegasus and Perseus really isn't all that much of a threat. So
Good call.
cool. That is round 1 of the bracket here. I think I'm just gonna double check. Yeah, so nothing at the bottom. We're officially on to round 2.
Right.
Some boss fights did get buys here. Just the nature of the beast with not an even, I guess, amount of, or I guess like not an ideal amount for bracket making purposes. So some did get
46
buys.
different entries here.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's good. So obviously not a clean bracket, but some did get buys, maybe undeserving, that we will get to later. But for the
right
first
now.
one, also right now. So round 2, we have none other than Oz from Descent going against the round 1 winner in Cortifex from the Archon. Yeah. We're just So obviously Cortifex is winning that one. Oz is the first boss fight ever, so maybe he has like aura points going for him, but besides that, it just doesn't do a whole lot. Anything else?
It's unfortunate, because Oz, I actually do like that boss fight, but again, scale is a massive thing to have in this particular bracket.
Yeah. So R.I.P. Oz. He got the bye. He made it to round 2, technically, I guess. But, Cortifex is moving on here. We have, on the Shadow Throne versus the God King from Frozen Dawn.
Stadtjäger.
Okay, that's what you call it. Okay, so the Stadtjäger from Shadow Throne versus the God King from Frozen Dawn. Are you familiar? Okay? I was gonna ask if you were familiar with either of these. So the Stadtjäger is it's annoying. Like just from like a playing perspective, I do not like the Stadtjäger boss fight at all. I gotta think though, because like I'm pretty sure the last phase it only takes damage from the like blunderbuss water weapon thing. But the God King also, I think the God King, I guess I don't know, maybe I'm giving it abilities I shouldn't, but like if we say the Stadtjäger will only take damage from that wonder weapon, then again it'll just go through all of these.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's fair. God
King also has a cheese.
It does have a if the Stadtjäger gets the melee perk and then picks up the scythe, then like different game. Different game, guys. Oh, dude, that's a good. I mean, I think just like in their base forms, I do think the God King would beat the Stadtjäger.
Okay.
Yeah, God King boss fight, just like again from playing, is much more difficult. The Stadtjäger it's not like too crazy. I definitely think it's more difficult for like the player than it would be for somebody like the God King, who if you don't cheese is actually really difficult.
Sure.
So yeah, I think I am gonna gonna go with the God King. Also, the God King can probably just like pick the Stadtjäger up because it has that ability to like pick you up.
Yeah.
As we see in the intro, like the boss fight cutscene. So I think it would just be able to pick up the Stadtjäger and like slam it down or something, throw it off a cliff.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Sweet. So yeah, we are gonna go with the God King from the Frozen Dawn. One of the most underrated boss fights of all time. Moving on. So we have the aliens from Zombies in Spaceland versus Sam from Reckoning. Let's see.
I'm loosely familiar with the aliens.
Okay.
Like, they fly around, so they do have flight as well as Sam.
They do. The aliens will mess you up, dude. Like, they're actually not something to be not something to be messed with. I'm trying to think. So if you do enough damage to the aliens, then you can knife their back and get like the batteries. That's how you end up like beating them.
Yeah.
This is a real question. Does Sam have the ability to like knife, like get the batteries out of their backpack? That's the ultimate question.
There's no like attack like that, I think. I mean,
Programmed into Sam. Because like you can't shoot them out. You have to knife them out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I'm picturing the aliens too being somewhat precise with their
Shots,
alien ray shots to hit those weak spots on Sam.
Yeah, and I think that they're fast. Like they teleport pretty quick, so they'd be fast enough to like dodge her beams and stuff. I think it has to be the Spaceland aliens.
Okay.
Let's see. Winner. Chicken dinner. Cool. Moving on. We have the slasher boss fight from Rave versus Richtofen, again from Reckoning.
Yeah.
I'll speak on the Rave boss fight. He's mobile. He like jumps from like from one area of the boss fight to the other. He's bigger than Richtofen for sure, but I guess I think the Richtofen flying would give him trouble.
Sure. And I mean that Wonder Waff, I'm sure does some damage.
Right, and he doesn't have like the slasher doesn't have like a grab mechanic or like not even a range attack. I don't think he has like the buzz saws on the ground, but those wouldn't affect Richtofen. So I think Richtofen's beating the Rave slasher in the long run.
Okay, I like it.
Sweet. Here we
Tricky
go.
Ricky.
Ricky.
Round 2.
This is gonna be a great matchup. Moving in the next round, but
yeah, it is.
Yeah. So we have Takio's beating Patient 13. Getting obviously Patient 13 is beating Takio unless Devi has a good case for Takio.
No, man. I mean, I think Patient 13 wipes the Thrashers, and Takio's ultimately immobile. So I think Patient 13 it kind of looks like Takio in that boss fight, but actually can move and summon a lot more than just Thrashers. I mean, you got Avogadros and Manglers all over the place, and the wipe attack.
Wait,
yeah, man. Takio.
You said Avogadro.
Oh, did I say Avogadro?
Did I say abominations? Oh my god.
One of those A things.
We both missed. Dude, could you imagine if it actually spawned in Avogadros? That'd be crazy.
It would go with like the electric kind of attack thing that Patient 13 gives me like electric, like water electric type energy if it were a Pokemon. Okay.
Anyways, yeah, like Takio would literally just sit there and get like annihilated. Like he would.
Yeah.
As long as the Patient 13 stays out of like the slam attack things, he'd be totally fine. Which obviously he would. So, yeah, Patient 13 ends up beating Takio in a massive upset. Oh my gosh, this is actually an insane. So Mephistopheles, for those not watching, Mephistopheles from IW versus Dravikar from Totenreich. That's insane. That's an insane matchup. Oh, man.
That's a fun one.
So Meph has a bunch of different attacks. And he can
Again,
fly.
I'm picturing environment. Like, if it's in like a hellish dimension, Dravacar is made of ice. Like,
He melts.
ooh.
I think like if it's an even playing ground, I think we have to go with Meth. Again, he has the fly. Like Dravacar is much bigger in scale,
Sure.
but Meth does have the ranged attacks, and he can fly. I guess Dravacar also has the ranged attacks. And like I think, yeah, I think this is tough because like Meth can fly, but Dravacar is much bigger. So the ranged attacks, I think, would just maybe even out.
Yeah, that's where I'm like leaning on Meth having fire and sort of magic based attacks, whereas Dravacar is just all ice and like melee physical types of damage. Well, it has the runes. Let's not forget about the runes.
Yeah, the runes, like those are, yeah, nothing to shake a stick at. We also only know Dravacar while he's fighting Tyr, so I guess I wonder what happens if you get like a full.
Yeah, that's a great point. Oh man, so I've never done the Meth fight, so I think I ultimately am gonna lean on. Okay, I think I'm gonna defer to you.
Oh no. Let's see. I've done the Meth fight so many times. I've never beat it.
Really?
Yeah, dude. It's I do think you made a good point with like the elemental side of things with like fire versus ice. But I don't think it's fair. Like maybe for some of these we have to sort of assume it's in like one boss fight arena. But if we assume it's in like a Halid, then that does put Dravacar at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
But like dang it, that's tough. Do I think
I don't think the icy environment particularly puts Meth at too much of a disadvantage.
I agree.
So Dravacar, I think, has a lot of weakness in this fight, even though they do have they do both have pretty powerful like magic based ranged attacks. Okay. Yeah, this is a tough one.
I think you could go either way with this one.
Yeah.
But Meth's fire attacks maybe do like crazy damage to Dravacar, and I think we just barely have to put Meth ahead of Dravacar, which hurts me in doing so, but
yeah,
gotta do it. Gotta pick a winner.
It's valid.
So Meth moves on to the next round. All right, we got the Dragon from Garad Krovi versus Valentina from Mauer. Let's see. Both can fly. Dragon is much bigger in scale. The dragon also doesn't really do anything. Besides like breathe fire onto like the boss fight arena, but then like Valentina could just like float above that, right?
And those homing range attacks versus just like a little fire thing that is more like area of effect if you're in one spot. Valentina, dude, those like needle or whatever she's shooting out, those shards are brutal from what I remember.
Okay. Yeah, I do think we have to go with Valentina here. The dragon isn't even like the more formidable opponent in the boss fight. So while it is like grand in scale and everything, it just doesn't like it's not that guy, you know?
Yeah.
Cool. So next we have the Cryptids from Beast from Beyond versus the Dark Heart from Paradox.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting is correct. Again, the Cryptids, I think the Dark Heart has an advantage that it can fly. Like the Cryptids would not be able to touch it. And the Dark Heart, I think, would just chip away at them over time.
Are we only considering like the rhinos, or are we considering, because like there's the one cryptid that shoots like it has like that acid ranged attack.
That's true. Does it shoot it, or does it just kind of like lay it down somewhere?
Oh, I've never done the boss fight.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember Extinction right now.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to. Gosh, that's tough.
It's the ones with like hold on. Oh, I can't look it up because how my recording is going right now. Yeah, isn't there one with like it's got like a long tail and it like spits acid out? Or am I thinking of
I think you're thinking of like
some
Predator
other
or Alien.
IP?
Alien from
Yeah.
maybe that's a thing. I don't know, but hmm. Even if it could do that, is that enough to beat the Dark Heart though? Like the Dark Hearts like fire range attacks, I think are a lot for like cryptids to deal with.
Yeah. I
What do you think? Like, are you leaning cryptids?
Only if they have the ability that I'm talking about could I make a case for them.
So we're specifically
Because
because like from Extinction, like from Beast from Beyond specifically, I don't think that there's any like cryptids with range attacks.
if they don't have range attacks, Darkheart is undefeated here. For
Okay.
the same reasons as the werewolf.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to look it up right now.
Could we see them like climbing up like Yellow House onto the balcony and jumping
Like
up
jumping?
onto the Darkheart to do a melee sort of operation?
They do not have a range attack, by the way, so they're very fast.
Okay.
But it's all melee attacks and like close quarter stuff. So
could they get up onto the
could they
Darkheart?
jump from? I gotta think of the distance between. I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think they're like, because I'm thinking like World War Z, like they could like hive mind, create a ladder to get up, but I don't think they're like that. I don't think they're built like that.
Okay.
No.
I think maybe similar to like the tomb situation. I feel like we're like giving the cryptids a reason to win. I would just say it's
very possibly. Okay. No, it's valid.
We're in agreement with the Dark Heart here.
Yes, sir.
Cool. All right, the Dark Heart moves on. Oh
yeah,
boy, the Shadow Man from of course Shadows of Evil versus the Entity from MWZ. I mean,
hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby here.
Yeah, no kidding. Shadow Man doesn't even do anything. He just
takes it,
floats
like a good boy,
and gets shot. Yeah. So sorry, Shadow Man, you're not that guy. The Meister, Darkest Shore. Oh my gosh, what a great
Meister Moichlers from Darkest Shore versus the Eye from Voyage of Despair.
Not even the Eye of Odin, bro. You just said Eye.
Okay, you know what's funny is when looking it up officially, I heard other names. It was the Eye of Despair or Misery or something else. So I didn't see that it was canonically called Eye of Odin, so I just referred to it as the Eye, just to be safe.
Okay, that's fair. Let's see. Oh, dude,
does Flight give Eye the win here?
So I do think like one or two of the Meister, because it's basically like sets of 3 that pop up at you and they have like different abilities.
Okay.
I think one of them has a ranged attack, but I don't think it's nearly enough to counter like the floating. First of all, the floating ability, like, and granted, the Meister Mukler's boss fight is way harder than the Eye of Odin.
Really?
Way harder. It's one of the hardest boss fights ever, dude. It's insane.
Damn.
But with that said, I think like if they were to face each other, one, the eye floats. That's a recurring theme. Like it can fly.
Yep.
The laser.
That laser's nasty.
And it has the wipe attack. And I don't think one Meister Mukler like doing a range attack is enough to prevent the wipe attack from going off. So I do think at the end of the day, even if the Meister Muklers like got off to a big lead or something, I think the Eye would have a big comeback and sort of have a counter punch basically at the end.
Yeah. No, that's valid.
So yeah, the Eye of Odin moves on, or the Eye of Misery or whatever.
Something, man.
Shadow Man, Japan versus Z-Rex from Shattered Veil. I hope you got that reference, by the way. Like Cool Thing, or like Thing America versus like Thing Japan. Shadow Man Rev is just The
Yeah.
Japan version of Shadowman. Okay, thank you. So
we'll
Shadowman
include
Go ahead.
we'll include the elemental Margwas in that whole
Ooh.
bit as well.
I think it's Xerox anyway.
I still think it's Xerox. Yeah. He's a tanky boy, and like, if we're going all over the arena, like, Xerox is like surprisingly super agile and quick. Like, he is that guy.
He's one of the few bosses that like actually mauls you. Like
Yeah.
sticks on you and like does not let up. Again, the Margwas would be doing like the heavy lifting for the Shadowman, but I don't think that they would be doing enough in that. So cool. Scrolling down here, we'll do that. So Rat King from Shaolin Shuffle versus Avogadro from AO. I love the Rat King boss fight. I actually think it's a great boss fight, but that's weird because the Rat King, though, like he sort of like travels, like he can travel in like a group of rats and then sort of like spawn up elsewhere. But I just don't think that's enough to beat Avogadro.
I mean, are you talking about like his agility?
Yeah, basically like his like some of his movement. I
mean, Avogadro teleports.
Yeah, right. And like most of the Rat King boss fight abilities is like basically like different puzzles and stuff that you have to do. Yeah, the Rat King
Could
itself,
Avogadro solve the Rat King? Hey, he's a scientist.
Okay. I think Avogadro would figure it out eventually. That's a good point. We need to IQs are factoring in here on the
first time. Oh man.
Cool. All right. Anything else you want to say about that before we move on?
No, yeah, we logicked our way there.
Cool. Okay, so this is the bottom here. So we'll go Keeper from DE or Forsaken from Forsaken.
Interesting.
They're both pretty useless. Like neither of them is like particularly strong.
They're both pretty immobile. Like Forsaken literally stays in one spot, while Keeper like floats in one spot.
But he can the Keeper does teleport around the arena. So the Keeper could like sort of teleport in and out of range for the Forsaken, and like it could spawn in those like skull things that you get from like the Void Bow.
Yes. And the Panzers.
And the
And the skeletons.
Yeah. I think it's the Keeper.
I'll go with it. I'll go with it. Yeah. Okay. I feel like the Keeper has a lot more health. Like the Forsaken is cheese incarnate. Like the boss fight is cheese. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
Keeper's got some durability, at least.
Okay. Moving on, we have the Panzer Mortar from Final Reich versus Nixara from Kawakujo. Oh, dude, the Panzer Mortar, it looks so sick, but it's a pretty like if you get close to it, it'll mess you up.
Not a problem for Nixara.
Yeah, Nixara's fine. Obviously, it's flying around. She'll be able to stay out of range and just kind of do like the fire damage stuff. So I think it's fair to say Nixara would win that fight. Nikolai from GK versus Legion from Outbreak. I'm gonna lean on you here, Mr. Devi.
Oh, I mean, like we see that the mech has like some lift, like it's got like that like burst jump sort of thing. I don't see. No? What's that?
Does Nikolai have rockets? Or are those just like him shooting out like what are those called? Like the wraps or whatever?
Yeah.
Like that score streak that's similar to like the meatballs from Shadows.
No, yeah. I think Legion just being able to float wherever it wants, and it has like insane range attacks.
Okay.
I think it's like aether crystals that I think could easily pierce through the mech suit.
Okay. So yeah, so Legion moving on here. That's fair.
I think so.
The final matchup of round 2 is Krogzilla, my goat from Attack of the Radioactive Thing, versus Caltheris from Astra Malorum.
I'm leaning on you here.
Yeah, that's tough. Krogzilla doesn't really do anything on its own. He basically has the ability to like shoot Krogs at you. But like I don't think that's enough to take care of Caltheris. Yeah, I'm thinking Caltheris personally.
Okay. Yeah, at first I thought you were gonna mention like the bomb step or something. But
Yeah, I guess like we have to use a bomb to defeat Krogzilla. I think Caltheris would just like laser beam Krogzilla and kill it.
right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything. Yeah, Krogzilla, it doesn't do a whole lot itself. It's more so like the other things going on. So, no, good point with the bomb though, because yeah, like I said, we had to use that, but not everybody. Like I don't think Caltheris would have to use that.
Fair.
Cool. So
Caltheris takes round 2.
So yeah, we are back up to the top here, round 3.
All right.
Yeah, good stuff. I think this is nobody got a bye to round 3, I don't believe. So, everybody had to win at least one round to get here. Starting off with Cortifex from the Archon versus God King from Frozen Dawn. Oh, yeah. I think it's got to be Cortifex, right? He's just much bigger. And
So-
like, well, go ahead.
To be totally honest, I don't really fully know the scale of God King in Frozen Dawn. Like, how big is he?
God King is like, that's a tough one because he's like pretty big, but he's not.
Like, would he hit his head in a like 3-story building if there were no floors?
That's a 3-story building. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
God King's about, what's like is he like the size of, I feel like he's bigger than like the Guardian. Maybe like,
Oh, is he?
shoot, this is tough. Yeah. I would say he's like roughly maybe like a little bigger than the Guardian, and he can like fly around and stuff.
Okay.
Um,
So he's probably about as big as the Archon's head.
fair. So yeah, he has cool attacks and stuff, and like would do damage to like players, but I do think Cortifex just like Cortifex, does Cortifex have like range attacks and stuff?
I think so. It's been a long
It's
time.
been a minute, yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah, he has to because he kind of just sits in one kind of location.
Okay.
I think so. Ooh. I think scale alone, like he's just gonna grab up God King.
Okay, that's fair. Just in general, you got to fill in time while I look up if Cortifex has a range attack.
Okay. No, yeah. I really wish I would have been more prepared for this, but no, me personally, I think scale wise, just Cortifex just grabs the God King. Like I realize that he's bigger than I thought he was, but I do think that this is another just matter of scale, which I don't know how much further that'll get Cortifex, but we'll see.
Okay,
What do you got?
so yeah, according to Google, Cortifex has a variety of range attacks, including massive energy orbs, lightning strikes, and energy beams. So I'm thinking,
Okay.
I'm thinking we gotta go Cortifex here
With the scale on top.
with the
yeah.
scale. Yeah. So Cortifex moves on to the next round. Good job, Cortifex. Sweets. Moving on. Aliens from Spaceland versus Richthofen. This is a great matchup.
Yeah, it's kind of perfect.
Because they do
The
pretty
jetpack battle.
similar. Yeah, they do pretty similar things. Is it one alien per player in the game? Like when you're playing Spaceland? I guess I would know more than you, maybe, but
I believe it is. But he has the Wonder Waff, so my mind immediately went to it's just gonna chain anyways.
it just connects them. Well, I guess if it's just those two fighting, then it would be like a 1v1. But
If it's a 1v1, to me, it's an easy
it's got to be
pick.
Richtofen. Let's see. Because, like, dude, the aliens do crazy damage in their own right. And, like, Richtofen
Yeah.
does have the ability to, like, knife the batteries out of their backpacks.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I think it's Richtofen. Richtofen can, like, fly. I don't know if the aliens can fly as much as they, like, teleport around. Like, I don't think we see them. Do we see them flying? They're, like, on the roofs of, like, buildings.
I think they fly, don't they?
I don't know.
I thought so.
Regardless,
Great. We're professionals.
I do think it's Richtofen, though.
I do. I think that Wonderwaff, it just like
It's crazy, bro.
it's gonna be more powerful. That just I'm not basing that on anything except the Wonderwaff is a powerful weapon.
Right. All right. Patient 13 from Terminus versus Mephistopheles from IW. That's a tough one. Patient. I feel like the wipe attack is something to like factor in heavily.
Yeah.
Because like the wipe attack, like so basically the question. Well, I think Meph could do enough damage to like cancel the wipe attack from Patient 13.
Mm-hmm.
And Meph can fly around and stuff.
I was gonna point out the elemental aspect is kind of flipped now because I feel like anything related to fire is not a weakness at all to Patient 13, who's covered in water.
Fair, yeah, and then, like if it did, then Patient 13 could just like duck underwater real quick and come back up.
Yeah.
Is Patient 13 getting the win here?
I feel like again you could argue for both. To me, I'm just a Pokemon fan that's looking at like elements and that they're like agility and stuff. I feel like doesn't matter too much. Like, yes, Patient 13 is, from what we see, pretty like static in its placement, but it can duck underwater as it does, and it's got the range from the tentacles as well. Like, I would put my money on Patient 13, but that's where I'll leave it.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right, especially with like the wipe attack and everything. Even though Meph would be a formidable opponent, I think he does have an argument. I do think that there's I do also lean Patient 13. I think that's a
Okay.
fair pick to make. Valentina versus the Dark Heart.
Now the Dark Heart's got some ranged
I was gonna
attacks
say,
to
yeah,
battle
do it.
with.
I think this is where we see the Dark Heart fall.
I agree. Valentina, those shards are nasty, man.
Yeah, the Dark Heart was able to take advantage of the like inability to fly from the other bosses, but I do think, yeah, to your point, Valentina, with like the shards and everything, I do think that she would win in the end. So
Yeah. You're such a
right,
great color commentator, by the way. You're giving like the rundown of like how they did in the first season and shit.
yeah,
You
everybody
clearly are into sports.
got to catch the audience up, bro. Cool. So, okay, the Entity from MWZ versus the Eye from Voyage of Despair.
Now that's an interesting one.
I'm gonna at least to start, I'm gonna lean on you here, David.
Oh, I'm trying to imagine the scale between them just as like a baseline. I don't know. It's hard because they're like really far away too.
Okay.
Oh man.
How are the entities like range attacks?
I was just gonna say I would look up the just as a refresher like the entities attacks.
Okay.
If you could, because it's been a while. Excuse me. Yeah, the eye clearly has the beam and the wipe, and I don't think scale is too much of a factor in this. I feel like they're decently close. I'm sort of picturing the entity being maybe a bit larger, but
Okay.
I think this is more a battle of just like sheer power.
Right, because it seems like both can fly slash float, both teleport. Um, Apparently the entity has 3 main attacks, so it's like a yellow beam where it's like focus energy, which is funny because the eye also has a beam of focused energy, and then
Yeah.
lightning strike, and orb like an orb barrage attack. So
This could go either way.
does the entity have like a
Truly.
white mechanic or no?
Not that I remember, but it's very possible that it does, and I'm just not clocking it.
Let's see. Nothing Google can't help with. Because
Yeah,
do you think the wipe attack would be like a deciding factor?
Well, if the entity doesn't, I don't know. I'm looking at like what is, how powerful are their attacks? Like,
So apparently, I don't know if it's like classified as a wipe attack, but apparently it's like an insta kill basically if you don't have like full golden armor.
oh, well, then that's a wipe attack for sure, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Dang, they're pretty similar by the sounds of it.
Yeah, they are. This is really tough. So like,
I'm deferring to you, just as a heads up.
oh
picking
man.
this one.
Well, now I'm leaning on like the historicity of them. Like, the eye is sort of powered by, I mean, Odin, if we're gonna go there, whereas the entity seems to be powered by like the dark aether. So like, where do those sit?
That's a great question.
That's really tough.
Yeah. Dang.
Does it somehow still land on scale because we don't know what's more powerful? Oh.
It says if you don't have full gold armor, then you die. But like the wipe attack, is there a way to? Yeah, I guess obviously there's a way to stop it. You idiot. The Eye of Odin attack, obviously there's a way to stop that one as well. But like that kills you no matter what if you don't stop it.
Okay.
So would the entity be able to stop the Eye of Odin attack in time? I guess with its beam, that would be enough.
Yeah.
What do you think? Again, you're the MWZ expert here.
No, we might have to just land on something as minute as that. Like if a human can withstand the wipe attack with the right armor from the entity, I think that might be our best case of like damage scaling here.
Yeah, like maybe it's the Eye of Odin.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is potentially another upset? The Eye of Odin moves on. Sweets. So moving on, we have Avogadro from AO versus the Z-Rex from Shattered Veil.
Wow.
That's a tough one. Two very, very, very different bosses.
Yes. Both very agile. Obviously, the Z-Rex is zooming all over the place. Avogadro can teleport. Does that get him out of the speed equation? Like, is this where the Z-Rex's speed isn't enough because Avogadro can just zip around?
That is a good point.
And are we still leaning on, can the Z-Rex get the Avogadro into the APD?
So, yeah, if that's it, I actually think the Z-Rex should have a good case for being able to get the Avogadro in the APD, MPD.
Oh, really?
I mean, the way it mauls, like the way it like sticks
Ooh.
on the player, like it could just like shove Avogadro into the APD.
Damn.
Oh, that's tough, dude. I think it would. I think it would.
Yeah, the Z-Rex does not let up.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
And obviously, the Avogadro is not teleporting when we're kind of meleeing it. So there comes a point where he's overwhelmed and can't just like zip away and escape. Like if you get him on the ropes, that's what you need to just get that final push into the pyramid.
Yeah.
I think you made a great case. I
Going
think
with the Z-Rex here.
we're gonna go with the Z-Rex. Avogadro skated through pretty well here.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, I had to go
For
against
different reasons.
Yeah, I mean, Vatherion was a bit of an upset, some would say, and then Rat King. Sort of the difference between Z-Rex and Vatherion is I think Z-Rex just has a more sort of ordered, calculated attack where it would push it Avogadro in sort of a straight line, whereas Vatherion sort of Beyblading around might not be what's needed to get the job done here.
Shout out Cornelius Purnell, man.
Shout out. I was about to say shout out and then use his initials. I'm not gonna say that in a full sentence. But
damn. Oh my god.
Yeah, so yep, shout out Cornelius Purnell, man. He's the goat. All right. Anyways, the keeper from DE versus Nixara from Kawakujo. It's Nixara. Yeah.
it's Nixara. That just the sheer it's not completely immobile as you mentioned, the keeper, but Nixara is zooming all around and just I don't think those like skulls are enough to I think the fireballs just burn up and destroy the skulls, unfortunately, and burn up the Panzer armor as well. Yeah, I think Nixara has to take that.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Keeper sort of had an easy route to this point of the dude, it was the lock or no, sorry, I lied. Yeah, the keeper had a bye and then got to go against the Forsaken. So yeah, definitely got an easy route, and then Nixara finally ends the Cinderella run there. So last matchup of round 3 between Caltheris and Legion. Again, deferring to you, Devi.
Ooh. Well, I don't think Caltheris gets any ability to box Legion into a corner with its flight.
Fair.
Does it? How does it work against phase 1 with the lasers from sort of planetary Caltheris? I mean, if we can outpace the laser, I don't know.
Basically, in the first phase, I think if we're gonna be like, you tell me, do you think it's fair to say that like in the first phase, Legion has to like charge up those coils with zombies to be able to attack Caltheris, or are we just sort of like bypassing that? Because then Caltheris gets a good like head start on anybody that she goes against, because she can attack them, but they can't do damage to her without those coils.
Do we give the same thing to Nikolai then from the previous Legion fight? And does he still take it? I think yes.
Okay.
I think once Legion starts attacking, Nikolai's mech suit's gone. Okay, yeah, these are two more like these are more out there enemies.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll assume Legion needs a minute. It has a window of weakness.
Yeah. Is that a big enough head start for Caltheris? Again, deferring to you here. Just ask the question.
That beam is pretty chunky.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, the Legion is literally just like made of dark aether crystal.
So yeah, despite the head start Caltheris gets, we're thinking Legion ends up edging Caltheris out in the long run.
I would say yes.
Okay.
I would say yes.
Sweet. So that concludes round 3. We're moving on to round 4 with 4 matchups remaining. We're just going to sort of go through them. Nixara versus Legion, the Eye of Odin versus Z-Rex, Patient 13 versus Valentina, and Cortifex versus Richtofen. We got some interesting matchups to cover here, but of course
Yeah,
we'll
we
start
do.
with Cortifex. Oh, let me scroll over here. Cortifex from the Archon versus Richtofen from Reckoning.
Ooh. Huh.
It's tough.
I mean, Richtofen's been ripping through everything, as has Cortifex.
Yeah.
That jetpack is pretty damn quick. I do know
Yeah.
that.
I think we all do. Found out the hard way. Is that
There's no smoke grenade large enough to shield Cortifex here.
true? That is true. Yeah, it's a big target. Richtofen. I mean, not that it matters. Richtofen freaking lasers people from across the map. But are we thinking Richtofen?
It's tough. Is that Wonderwaff gonna nail Cortifex enough? Is that gonna be enough to take down? I mean, here's the thing. If
in terms
4
of us
World War II
playing
soldiers,
against, you got.
sorry, I was gonna say if 4 World War II soldiers can do it, I think Tricky Ricky with a jetpack and a Wonderwaff. I think yes. I mean that might be like the wrong line of logic
Perspective,
here,
yeah.
but
I don't know how difficult Cortifex is, but I do know Richtofen is insanely difficult.
yes.
And I guess like I'm wondering like if does the math just translate? I think it could translate in that scenario where it's like Cortifex is easier to fight against than Richtofen, therefore Richtofen would beat Cortifex.
Okay, yeah.
So
I'll just go with Richtofen personally because I'm more familiar with the fight, even though I haven't beat Richtofen. And
fair.
I think that adds to what you're saying though, in like difficulty to complete and defeat. As like people playing the game might also work that way, sort of in world.
Okay.
I could see that
Yeah.
being a good argument.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's a good way to sort of differentiate when we're otherwise at a standstill. So all right, Patient 13 versus Valentina. What do you think?
That's a tough one. Valentina has the edge with mobility.
Yep.
I think whereas Mephistopheles attacks are, I don't know, because I'm imagining Mephistopheles attacks not penetrating well through water, but Valentina with those like needle shards, I think could.
Yeah.
At least for a moment, depending on how shallow Patient 13 goes.
Right. Patient, he does have the wipe attack though.
I believe Valentina has a wipe attack as well. I might be tripping though.
I think you're right. No, I think you're right. Yeah, that is true. She does have the mobility. Obviously, Patient 13 has the scale. Which one trumps the other? Because like Patient 13 does have range attacks, so like even though she does have the mobility, he could still hit her. It's not like she just like has the ability to like stay out of range and annihilate him, and he can't get her back.
That is where my brain was going, of like she might be able to like get out of the way of the wipe, whereas he kind of can't.
He just has to deal with it. Yeah.
Unless he can duck underwater though.
Does that count?
Yeah. The thing is, like, Patient 13's
Oh, but going
range...
behind the boxes also counts for avoiding Patient 13's attack. So it's not
Yeah,
like
it is that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patient 13's main range comes from just the tentacles, but I think Valentina would outpace that personally.
Okay. So we're giving it to Valentina here?
I'm gonna go with Valentina here.
that works
Taking
with me.
down Patient 13.
Yeah, crazy. I will say I'm a little surprised Valentina has made it that far, but I think all the judgments we've made along the way are fair. So
She's a nasty bitch.
All right, moving on to the Eye of Odin versus Z-Rex.
What are you thinking on this?
I think it's Eye of Odin. The Z-Rex has benefited from going against some of these like smaller opponents. I guess maybe that order is just useless, but Eye of Odin does have the ranged attack. Could shoot that laser beam. Obviously has the wipe attack as well. So even though like the Z-Rex might put up a good fight, I do think Eye of Odin at the end of the day is just too much. It's bigger in scale. It can fly. It has the wipe attack. I think it just sort of trumps Z-Rex in every way.
Yeah.
Can teleport.
Yeah. Like Z-Rex really does fall short under the right like damage profile. Like chopper gunners absolutely murk him. He's just not fast enough to escape those, and I think that it goes along with the beam for the eye. So yeah, ultimately I do think the eye does take down the Z-Rex.
Cool. And the last matchup of round 4, Nyxara from Kawakujo versus Legion from Outbreak.
Oh man.
Dude, Nyxara is fast when she flies.
Yeah, she is. And she's bad. Oh man.
True. Yeah. That is true. All right, guys. The gooning boss bracket is next week. We'll get to that. Let's see.
We should do that.
Definitely. Again, I'm leaning on you here. It's a cop out, but I'm like, you tell me if Nyxara can beat Legion.
I think Legion had an edge against Caltheris, barely, and a lot of that was due to like the laser attack only being one phase, and Caltheris being Caltheris in the rest of the phases kind of needing the right environmental attacks. Like yeah, you could argue about the meteorites, but I still think Legion takes it. Here though, Nyxara has crazy mobility.
Yeah, like insane. Like probably the best mobility without teleporting. Like she's so fast.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Exactly.
Is that enough to beat Legion?
Ooh, I'm gonna say yes. I'm just gonna lock it in there and say I think Nyxara does take it. Obviously, Nyxara has very beefy attacks as well.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
I
she'll.
think,
oh my gosh, that I mean, because Legion's in the air, right? Like it's.
Yeah.
That fire attack on the ground is just insane. Like the lava, like you just get annihilated from that. But
yeah.
Yeah. Even besides that, to your point, yeah, pretty beefy attacks, to say the least. All right, we are officially at round 5, aka the semifinals, aka the final 4, as Debbie just said. It's been a long journey here, but we do think that we got down to the appropriate final 4 here, which it's kind of funny because Richtofen and Valentina are so similar. And then I mean these two aren't really similar to each other, but it's just like funny how these are two kind of like humanoid, like flying around bosses, and then it's just like dragon and like eyeball. Like
yeah.
Just a funny sort of dichotomy. But yeah, my prediction, I would not have predicted that one of these two makes it to the final, but that is going to be the case. So do we think
battle of humanoid figures here?
Yeah, human versus humanoid, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, Richtofen versus Valentina. Who do we think is taking the Richtofen versus Valentina matchup here, Debbie?
Oh, I don't know if we can lean on agility here, because they are both like, they're zoomy.
Very zoomy.
And they have the aerial agility as well, which definitely makes it a much more even fight this time around. I think it probably gets down to who's more powerful at the end of the day.
Okay.
And
That
I have an
Richtofen
answer in
swap
my
is
head.
insane. It's insane, dude.
It is insane.
Is that what you were thinking? Were you thinking Ricky Toff?
I wasn't.
You're going with Valentina? Okay.
Unfortunately, the Valentina has a wipe. Valentina's attack literally is homing.
Okay. The math of which boss fight in game is easier is like that's what's pointing me towards Richtofen. Like, do you think Richtofen would be able to avoid that attack? And like with Valentina charging up the wipe attack, I do think Richtofen would be able to quickly get behind, you know, some kind of rock or something if needed.
Oh.
What do you think?
Yeah. I'm thinking too about like just like battle experience.
Okay.
I'm
listening.
I know we're getting into all the different factors.
I like it. That's good.
Like Valentina is just kind of a girl with a revenge plot who doesn't give me like battle experience vibes at all. She's just powerful, whereas Richtofen, like, he built the jetpack, he built the Wonderwaff, he knows how they work, and he's been planning for this for a long time, like,
Yeah.
using these things in battle. I think you do make a good point, and I think just raw experience here, along with, yes, I agree, Richtofen could probably pull the same moves as us on the ground with a jetpack.
Yeah.
So, yeah, much to my dismay, but it makes sense. Yeah, Richtofen finally beating out the insane run that Valentina has been on during this bracket.
Yeah, dude. She's been tearing it up, beating Patient 13, the Dark Heart, the Dragon from GK, the Guardian. So some formidable opponents along the way, but ultimately Richtofen beats her out and he advances to the final round here, the championship. Let's see who's gonna face. Of course, the semifinal matchup between the Eye of Odin from Voyage and Nexara from Kawakujo.
What are you thinking,
dude? So again, Nexara, like we definitely shouldn't underestimate Nexara's speed.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's bigger than the Eye of Odin. She's faster. Her attacks do more damage besides the wipe attack.
Mm-hmm.
The Eye of Odin does teleport. It does have like the focused beam, but the beam stays in one spot.
Yes.
So I think Nexara would be able to dodge that pretty easily and like be able to counter with like some of her like missile or like fire attacks or whatever.
Some more directed attacks.
Yeah.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I'm thinking we got to go with Nexara on this one.
Nexara beats the Eye from Voyage. Oh man.
It had a good run, man. Beat, Zrax. Oh, let's drag it over here. Zrax, the Entity, the Shadow Man, the Goat.
Oh no, that was Math.
Wait, where?
Oh, wait,
sorry. I'm tripping. No, the Eye did beat the Meister Muclers. And then the Entity, and then Zrax. But
Entity and T-Rex and Zrax were big ones.
Yeah, does fall to Nexara ultimately. Nexara, of course, has gone through Legion, Keeper, the Panzer Mortar, and Wrath and Fury. Nexara's kind of had an easy route, honestly, up until like Legion and then the Eye. But before that, it got a pretty like Keeper, Panzer Mortar, Wrath and Fury. So, people were doubting Nexara, but she made it. So, and of course, finally, we get to the championship matchup between Richtofen from Reckoning and Nexara from Kawakujo. I can't lie, Debbie.
Yeah.
These were not the two I had. I didn't have a specific two in mind, but these were definitely not the ones that popped up when I was thinking of like strongest boss fights ever.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I definitely was not. Yeah, if you would have told me, I probably would have thrown out Dravacar, Meph, like, or even some,
Vatherion.
yeah, some under less like obvious ones, like maybe Vatherion. But yeah, Reckoning Richtofen versus Kawakajo Nixara.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
two peak bosses from two peak games.
True. That is
We'll
true.
just say that.
Um, let's see. Okay, so they both can fly, but Nixara can fly faster.
Yeah,
I don't want to underestimate how insane Richtofen's WAF is,
yeah.
but Nixara does have the like her own ranged attacks. Do you think Richtofen would be able to keep up his aim? Like he's a smart guy. I think he would be able to like maybe lead Nixara when Nixara is doing like the fly around in a circle strat.
I do think so. Again, he's very experienced with the Wonderwaff, of course. And like if we're able to get shots on Nixara, like Tricky Ricky, man,
Tricky Ricky.
he's very
Yeah.
calculated. Director Richtofen is extremely calculated.
Yeah, and like her attacks like on the ground, like he could just float up in the air.
Yeah, not a problem for him. Oh man.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's like, dude, a waft shot to like Nixara's crit spot would have to do like insane damage.
Yeah. And like and any zombies or anything on the ground level aren't a problem for the reasons we already talked about, the flight, the waff, like
Yeah.
he's got it there.
Is there a counterpoint for Nixara? Like she is faster, yes, that would give Richtofen trouble. I mean, she's in the championship round, obviously. You know, she's there for a reason. Like I think her speed would give Richtofen trouble. She could maybe do some like flybys with like fire and stuff, but I do think at the end of the day, Richtofen would outmaneuver Nixara and then land some good waft shots, ultimately leading to him winning the fight.
Yeah, I think for everything that Nixara has at her disposal, I think unfortunately for her, Richtofen does have fantastic counters. Just by intelligence, agility, power that will more likely land. Yeah, I think Richtofen takes the COD Zombies
Yep.
boss fight bracket at the end
Wow.
here.
That's surprising. I did not think it was going to be Reckoning, Richtofen obviously from Reckoning.
No way.
Wow. Yeah, that's the conclusion that we drew. I don't remember exactly what the people in the Discord said because you guys were theorizing about that as well. But I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it wasn't Richtofen.
No, yeah, and now I want to go back and read because
See what they said.
as soon as I saw that it was an idea brought forward to us from Warman and Shelly told us about it too, like I just avoided it. Like I saw certain things, but nothing that was like a concrete like this is who I think would win at the end. And that was intentional. So I'm curious to see what the pack and all you guys at home think about Richtofen
Yeah.
ultimately taking this thing.
Yeah, let us know your guys' thoughts on how we picked it. Obviously, you probably have a different answer. I'm trying to find it right now. It's not a big deal if I don't find it. Yeah, I think yeah, we'll leave it. I don't want to scroll back and find it, but yeah, so we got Richtofen, Ricky Toff beating Nexara there. Good stuff.
Valid. So
And,
cool.
Yeah, so that concludes the bracket, the boss bracket portion of the pod. Unless you have anything else you want to mention, Debbie, I think we're going to move on to some dead drops here, and then we have a very special announcement for you guys.
Yeah, man. Nothing else to say. I'd love to get into these dead drops that the fantastic people at the pack asked us. And starting off, looks like we got Lechuga who asks, "What are the podcast plans during the possible 2-year Zombies break?" Now, Shorbsy and I have not really totally thought this out. It is a great question, though.
Hmm.
I think it's going to be something that has to be a discussion. Obviously, we started this right before Paradox Junction came out. So this has been a very Black Ops 7 Zombies focused podcast just because of
Hmm.
the time we're in. And certain things like the ports coming out will possibly be a huge thing that we can lean on, and I hopefully that's not just like a sort of like spot in the moment right now, and it's something that can uh, get us somewhere moving forward. I definitely we're looking at certain things that Shorbsy will talk about for the episode next week that I hope becomes a more reoccurring thing, but we'll get there when we get there. Um, Obviously, Shorbsy and I do our own like solo content outside of this podcast, and certain things will pop up that are more tuned towards that. But I think definitely things like I could see us doing all kinds of things with the community, and I think that is going to be something that we will strongly be leaning towards. Not something that's BO7 centric, but that's just like COD zombie lover centric. I think is going to be what keeps us going here. But
Yep.
that, again, that's without talking to Shorbsy about this. I am curious what he has to say though.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like doing the podcast, I mean, as long as Debbie's down, I'm down. Like we're, the train full steam ahead. We absolutely love doing this. We love interacting with you guys, um, like reading your comments, all that good stuff. Obviously, Debbie sort of laid out that we do want to do like more stuff with the community, do some like BO1, BO2 related stuff. Um, so even if we, maybe it's a dry patch, we do obviously have like 2 years of stuff to sort of work through here. But Zombies has given us enough that we'll be able to figure out good, engaging topics for you guys to listen to along the way, while also sprinkling in some of that more like community engaging stuff, which, as we've teased like 5 times now, I will announce at the end of this video. So make sure you guys get to the end of the video and listen, because you're not going to want to miss it. But yeah, so yeah, just covering stuff that's not necessarily, I guess, live. What is it? Live. Like basically just stuff that isn't currently going on. So like when BO7 ends, maybe we get some port like the carry forward stuff or like super Easter egg.
Yeah.
When that stuff dries up, we will be able to fill it in with some older stuff. Go back, maybe like Zevi playing BO4 and like giving his thoughts on it, me playing MWZ, Outbreak, stuff like that, giving my thoughts on it. There will be content, and it will be amazing because we're both goated with the sauce. And I might have voice cracked there. I'm gonna count it just because we haven't officially gotten a voice crack. I don't know if it picked it up. I'm sure it did, but shout out to you, Shelly.
Yep.
Appreciate you for making it to this part of the video. So yeah, we'll figure it out. Even if we don't have anything specific in mind, we'll figure it out. So
yeah. With that said, Lechuga, thank you for that very good question. Next up is Captain Caro, who says, with these ports being as popular as they've been, do you expect them to capitalize with any remasters in a few years? Shorbsy, did you want to start us off with that?
Yeah, so a buddy of mine sent a thing, and I don't know if it was like fake or just a rumor or something, but like something about a potential like World at War remaster. I don't know if they would do that. Like, I don't think the community yearns for World at War like they did for BO1 and BO2. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, I think if they dropped World at War if they ported over World at War BO1, BO2, it would probably be, in my opinion, I think it would probably be like 70, like I'll say like 60% of people are on BO2, 30% BO1, and like 10% World at War. So I guess I just don't know if the money would be there for like a World at War thing. Outside of Zombies, I think Infinity Ward has an excellent opportunity to bring over MW2 and MW3. That would be That'd be chef's kiss, bro. I would be so happy with something like that. Do I expect them to? That's tough. I don't know if I expect Infinity Ward to like see the success Treyarch is having with these ports and just like steal their idea. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So my expectation, I don't think so. I don't expect them to. I think it would be smart. I think remastering a game that's as beloved as like the original MW2 would be an incredible idea, like financially. But um, like if I had to put money on any studio remastering a game, besides obviously porting over BO1 and BO2, I would say no.
Yeah. That's a great point. And I think for me, like I'm looking at BO6 and BO7, which are BO6 was more like they were doing a lot of cosmetics that were like to some would say nostalgia bait, but they were things referencing a lot of old content, and BO7 especially, which it's leaning more towards like BO2 inspired. And I think they're looking at the community sentiment and they're seeing all of us ask for new, and they also see the people that like absolutely love all this old stuff, and they're kind of towing the middle by making it a full brand new release with a lot of stuff that is familiar and that they can say is inspired by that old stuff that we love so much. And so ultimately I don't think there are probably any remasters, so to speak, on the way. um, yeah, I think at most they're going to continue doing what they've been doing, which is reference old stuff through cosmetics or certain guns or things like that. But that's as far as I think they're going right now. I'd be curious to see what an old COD fully remastered would look like today. I know they did it with Modern Warfare back when IW came out. I don't know how successful that necessarily was for the company, at least of Activision.
Right.
Uh, but yeah, I'm not expecting any actual full remasters of anything. Not at this current like gaming climate, so to speak. With that said, Captain Caro, thank you so much for the question. And last but not least is Eric, who asks, "Do you think Widow's Wine will power creep higher rounds?" Shrubsy, what do you think about Widow's Wine?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a great like it'll be maybe a crutch perk. Like Widow's Wine is a very powerful perk to have, especially in a game where like when you get to those higher rounds, you have like the super sprinters that are very powerful and very fast. If you have Widow's Wine activating, it sort of buys you that time to react when maybe otherwise you wouldn't be able to. Um, so especially like maybe they have some crazy augments where it like chains together on a bunch of zombies, like even more than it would on activation in like BO3. I guess we'll have to see. Like I think the augments will be the big tell for this, but um, yeah, I do think that it will be. I guess again the way that I'm reading the question, I do think it'll sort of boost up like what people could do in terms of high rounding.
Yeah, I agree. Widow's Wine, just at base, at least as it was in BO3, was obviously a massive defensive perk. And with a game that people already argue, like you take so many hits to, I mean, that's more the early rounds, but like it in a game where there's a lot of get out of jail free cards, like, excuse me, with Widow's Wine, like I could see that being something that's just another thing to kind of boost how far we can get. And that's assuming we're understanding your question correctly, Eric. So apologies on that. But yeah, I think ultimately, yeah, I think higher rounds will be easier, just flatly, with the inclusion of Widow's Wine and for all the maps too. I mean, I guess it depends on like whether Widow's Wine would be helpful for something that like is a part of the high round strat on each individual map, but assuming just playing normal, training the zombies, killing them with your guns or traps or whatever, yeah, I think people will be able to get further with the Widow's Wine inclusion.
Yeah.
And with that said, Eric, thank you so much for the question. Shorbz, feel free to take us home, brother.
Very, very special announcement before I do. All right, guys. So episode 24 is in the books. Next week's episode is episode 25. We wanted to do something special for our 25th episode. So I'm here to announce that we are doing a game show style episode with people from the pack. We don't have a specific number in mind. We were thinking maybe like 4-ish of you guys. But yeah, so we're thinking right now, we're thinking Jeopardy, calling it Jeopardy. That's our original idea, by the way. And so we're gonna have details on sort of like how we're gonna select people. We want it to be as random as possible. We're not gonna we don't want to show like any kind of bias or anything, have people be upset with the selection process. So but yeah, that's next week's episode. It's gonna be a very special one. We're super excited to host this with you guys and have some fun. So if you guys aren't in the Discord and you want a shot to be on this episode, please come join us. Super welcoming community. Everybody in there's awesome besides Shelly. And yeah, if you guys are already in the pack, then please feel free to participate. We'd love to have you on and just have fun for our 25th episode. We'd like to do these more frequently, just to maybe give back a little bit, because you guys have been absolutely amazing. But with all that said, thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 24 of the Pack Mentality Podcast. We appreciate you guys a ton. Let us know if we were wrong for any of these picks. I'm sure you guys agree with us 100%, and there will be no issues at all. But like, subscribe, do all the fun stuff, and yeah, we appreciate you guys a ton, and we'll catch you in the next video. Peace.
Peace.